Terrifying thing. The current outbreak in Africa, more than 1,300 people infected. More than 700 of them have died. And there are times when the mortality rate is 90%. So it's awful. We have a couple of Americans coming back to the States infected. And with that in mind, it's in the news. We thought we'd take a moment to talk to Dr. Jill about this regarding Ebola and animals. And Dr. Jill, can we start with the assurance of people that we know of no cases of animal-borne Ebola in North America, correct?
Absolutely none. Okay. You're right.
But we do know that it can be transmitted by animals and from one animal to another, so we wanted to talk to you about that. What do we know?
Well, we don't know a whole lot, really, Paul. And what we find is when these animals in Africa or these places that are affected with Ebola, the wild animals can or may be carriers of it and not necessarily spread the virus to a human, but some of these people actually eat the infected meat, and that's how they think they're contracting this.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, my understanding is that, as terrible and as deadly as the virus is, it's an easy virus to kill, and I mean before infection. If it's something that is on a surface, it's easily killed, correct?
It can be easily killed, yes. However, I want to make sure, too, people understand, because the question comes in is when you're feeding your pet raw foods, make sure you know where those raw foods are. It's really a question of these animals eating raw bush meat, if you will, that are getting infected. Now, there's been studies done and there's been testing done on dogs. Dogs can contract the virus, but only in the laboratory right now. They do know they can get it, but I want people to understand they need not to be fearful of your pets carrying this thing. Sanitation, staying out of contact with these people that have been exposed to it, those are the real keys. Making sure if you have somebody in your family that's traveled to Africa or one of these foreign countries that have Ebola, you need to make sure they get isolated because, again, it's a more of a contagion human to human right now.
Of course. And who is that little guy you've got with you? We've never seen this one before.
Isn't she cute? This is Neva. One of my employees owns her, little Pomeranian.
Well, no, she's a doll. We appreciate the lovely prop there today. And again, we end as we started in our conversation. No known cases in the United States. No known transmission by animals between animals where we are. We need not be worried about that, correct?
That is correct. And you can always go to the CDC website, cdc.gov, and they'll also give you plenty of information about symptoms, and there's lots of studies going on now between human and animal contact.
Great, Jill, and I'll suggest one other website. If you want to schedule an appointment with Dr. Jill for any reason, check out drjill.com, D-R-J-Y-L, or you can give her a call. The number is there on your screen, 916-989-0738. Coming up.